Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So hopefully you watched the last video, and in that we were taking a look at this D12. Initially I thought the rear axle had stripped because I took it off-road. It was okay using it on tarmac and concrete and stuff, and as soon as I took it off-road I ended up with a really sort of nasty grinding noise. I thought it was the back axle. I'd already purchased the full metal back axle for it when I purchased the truck, because I expected, you know, to have issues at some point with the plastic gears, but as it transpired it wasn't the back axle, so you know, I was wrong in that one, and it was actually the small plastic gears that went in the gearbox. So I went onto WPL's website and I ordered this metal gear set. We're going to put this in today and get it back up and running and start getting this thing put back together. I've still got the couple of figures to put into the cab, so I'm going to do that a bit later on. But I thought we'd just quickly have a look at what you get in the kit before we carry on and get this put back together. Right, so this is the kit as I got it. It's only taken just over a week, about 9 days I think in total, from me ordering it from China to it getting here. So I was quite impressed with that, and WPL is generally not too bad on their time schedules getting things out, so I was very impressed with that, being just over a week. So first off we get some more thread lock, we get another pack of grease, and if you spend any amount of time doing WPL stuff you'll end up collecting a lot of this. You get it with everyone, which is not a bad thing, because when you're pulling things down and rebuilding it's always nice to have the extra. So we get a couple of small grub screws for the shaft, we get a new, let's bring it up here, we get a new input shaft, we get an Allen key, which I don't tend to use these. I bought a more expensive set, and I tend to use those because they tend to be a better fit. And then we get the 3 small gears that you get in the gearbox. So, and also the obligatory sticker kit, which you get with absolutely everything you purchase from WPL. So that's a quick look at what you get, and we'll crack on now and we'll start putting it together. Right, okay guys, so first off we need to remove this shaft because we're going to do away with this plastic gear and this plastic drive shaft. So that's that off. There's a little plastic spacer, and that's your internal shaft. So we put those to one side. So now we need this, and as you can see it's kind of obvious how this goes. So we get out the grease and the thread lock from last time. Hopefully this is still good. Yep. So first of all we need the large gear because we're going to replace this plastic one. So we take the rub screw. Ooh, that's the screwdriver. This is a 1.5mm Allen key. I'll tell you what, here in the UK we've had a few days of really hot weather. We're not used to it. I have got an aircon unit that I'm trying to heat the whole floor with one AC unit, and it isn't exactly going to plan. It's struggling a little bit, so we'll put a little bit of the thread lock in there and we get it started. And so far, thread wise and things, I found WPL stuff to be really good. I've not had any issues with thread stripping. It just seems to be predominantly the Allen keys seem to be of a bit of a poor quality. So that's that on there. As you can see, it's the same as that. So now we need to pop a bit of grease in there. See if we can get some in that shaft hole there. So there we go, got some grease on there. So don't know if we're going to need this with the other drive shaft. Let me just grab the drive shaft. There we go. So again, it should be the 1.5. There we go. So let's pop a little splodge, the old thread lock in there. I know I did say in a previous video that I don't use thread lock, but I'm making myself to be a liar now, because I have had a few recently come off. So I'm assuming that's how that's meant to go, because I don't have any other parts to go on there. So I'm assuming that will just go like that. This isn't going to be able to move once it's all together. So right, so now we've got it this far. So we've got these two gears, and don't worry that you can't remember how these gears went in, because if you look at the gear count on the teeth count on the gears, you've got quite a small count on that one and a very high thread count there. I mean, that one's probably got 12 teeth maybe, and that one's probably got, I don't know, 30 to 40 teeth. And if you look on these gears, you can see that there's a big difference in the teeth pitch. So the gears will only mesh with the correct gear teeth. And the way I was going to do it, obviously that's pretty much done. Let's move this over. If I bring the gearbox in, we've got these two posts which space the gears. So we've got a very, very fine tooth on the actual drive spindle, and we've got a very fine tooth count on this one. This one has a much coarser tooth on the outside, so there's no way that and that are going to mesh. This post then lifts it up above that outer ring, and again this outer tooth count is much higher than this one, so they go like that, and then this one will go on and it will locate to that one. So before this goes back together, we will pop some grease in there. Whenever you're doing a job like this, if you are concerned that you may not get things back together as it came apart, take some photos. That's the way I generally do stuff, because sometimes you can't rely on your memory. If stuff's going on and things are a bit hectic where you are, and you're trying to remember how you've took something apart, sometimes it's better to just take a photo, and you don't have to use your brain then. Right, so there you go. So that's gone in. So now it's just a case of popping these two screws back in, which we have here and here. These are actually Phillips or a crosshead screwdriver. And you are threading into plastic, so don't go really crazy with tightening these up. Just kind of bottom them and leave it at that. Just give them a little tiny little nip. This screwdriver is not the best. See if we've got a slightly bigger one. I can't remember which one I used last time. I think it might have been this one. Yeah, that's a better fit. So get those in, just get them bottomed like that, and then just give it a tiny little bit just to ensure that they're seated. So there we go, that's not going to move. I mean, this plastic piece is going to move up and down, but it's not really going to. And you can hear there we've got a much better gear mesh. So this sits down in there, and it will pay us to actually attach the drive shaft while we're going. So let's put a little bit. I don't like to put too much grease on these things, because all they do is pick up dirt when you're out and around and you're trailing around. Unless you're going to clean your vehicles every single time you take them out, you're going to be removing a lot of crap. I see. So that has to go back there. Perfect. Let's put a little bit of, that's a plastic bearing, so we'll put a little bit of grease on that and just rotate it as you turn it on, and there we go. Trousers is the best place for it. I haven't got anything with me. And then we go with this piece back on. We've got the two small location holes there, and we've got the two holes here which we need to put the screws back in. So again, we need the Phillips and these little screws should go down in there. There we go, there's one. And two. And now pop the motor screws back in. And we now have a rolling chassis again. So we're going to need a battery because that's not wanting. I'm just hoping that this drive shaft angle isn't too much. We can pray. I mean, obviously once everything's on, this is going to go. Where we're going that way. Once we get a little bit of weight on the back axle, this will go up. So I'm hoping that's going to work, that axle. It should be fine. It's got two choices, it will or it won't. So anyway, that's the chassis now, ready to rock and roll. So I need to put these other pieces away. Put the top back on that. So there we go, guys. We're going to start getting this thing put back together. Let's tilt this up so you can see we're going to have a much better clearance on that back end. So I'm going to crack on now and we get these characters fitted. I'm not going to paint out the cab. I have contemplated it. I may, on this piece, I may put some trim on things. I'm not quite sure yet. Haven't decided what to do really. I may, I don't know, probably not. But anyway, I digress. let's carry on. I've tried already, because of the steering piece in there, unfortunately this turtle has had to lose a foot. So let me move this out of the way, it's too close. I'm going to try focusing on that, not on, because what I was going to try and do was sit this turtle here like so, and this turtle can pull his legs in, and put this turtle here. They've got to kind of recline a bit in there because they aren't that flexible. And so, right, so that's how the turtles are going to sit. So I'm going to get these two guys glued in and we carry on from there. Right guys, we're back, and I had another problem. This is the drive shaft that was delivered with the D12 all metal back axle, and the drive shaft itself was okay for the purpose that I was originally going to use it, but where I've moved the axle to underneath the spring, this drive shaft, where are we? This drive shaft is now too short. So I went through one of my bags of bits, and you can see if I can get that in there. So if I hold that up there and that one there, you can see there's a bit of a difference. Where am I? You can see there's a bit of a difference in the length and the actual angle that it can go to, and it was kind of a little bit stretched out, and this one here when it goes on is going to have a much better angle. The other one was virtually on the end and it was kind of flopping around a bit, but this one is going to be a lot better. And the other issue that I had, and this is part of the reason why I've said about the thread lock, this one, sorry, moving to the middle, this one here I got out, it was really tight in there, but this one, as these little grub screws tend to do, I couldn't undo it because the thread lock is kind of, I mean, it's good thread lock, it definitely holds these in, but the actual grub screw rounded out. I managed to get it to turn maybe one turn and that was it. It did not want to come out, and it was, even though was it this end? No, it was this end. Even though this grub screw actually came out, I don't know why, because it seemed to go on okay when I fitted it, and I don't know if stud lock got between the actual brass piece of the shaft coming out, but I couldn't separate them, and I tried to pry them apart and it actually snapped the piece in the axle here that would normally stick out of here. You can see just the small brass piece, it's broken and sticking out there. So now it means I've got to change the gear in here, and luckily I've got another all metal kit to build. It's one of the WPL pickups, and all of the gear sets are exactly the same regardless of the model as far as I can tell. So let me drop that there, put that back in. Right, so luckily from this other model that I have, I've pinched one of these out of the kit. I have ordered another pack of these. It's the first one I've broke. I don't know if there's going to be more, but it doesn't hurt to have extras. So now I've got to basically unscrew this axle housing, just undo the pumpkin back, pull this front piece off, and hopefully get that broken piece through the bearings so that I can get this piece replaced. So I'm going to go ahead and start undoing these screws. I did start undoing one of these screws earlier. Jeez, one of my dogs has farted. Coco, is that you? God, dog. That's bad. It's making my eyes water, I can't see. Where are we? There. That's like a really, really bad Brussels sprout smell. I don't know what she's been eating. She looks like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth, but oh my god, her ass. So, just want to pop this back. I want to try and keep the red pumpkin piece on, if I can. Move that out of the way, so let's push those through. There you go. So, let's move that. So what we have is the gear there on the inside, which is that piece, and obviously this should stick out enough to attach the shaft to there. So I'm just hoping it's going to push through okay. Yeah, just need to hopefully this little bearing, yeah, that's come straight off. So as you can see there, if I, right, there you go, so you can see where it's broken. Maybe it'd be better for me to put them there. You can see that end piece is broken off here, which made it very difficult to attach anything to. So this bearing, if I can keep hold of it, I can get it back on there. So, and we'll pop a little bit of grease back in there before we put this together. Right. So we'll put a little bit down in the back where the bearing runs, and then we'll pop that through. That's that now fitted, so you can see we've now got the piece for the back axle. So I'll move this out of the way and bring this back in. So I'm going to put a little bit more grease around the actual gear, because this is a new gear, like that. And now it needs to go like this. So I need to start tightening these screws in, and pulling that in, and hopefully that little gasket won't move, because they can be a bit of a pain in the bum. So they are quite robust, these brass gears, but it just shows that you can't just beat on them or lever on them like you would steel. But it was a very clean break, so it didn't stop the bearings coming off, which is all good. So just check these are tight. Screw in and nip that up, and there we go. So let's see what it sounds like. So we're going to take this out for a burn, and as you can see, we've got the sorry about the ring light, We've got the turtles in there. I think it was Donatello and Leonardo. The red and blue. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. My granddaughter did tell me. So there we are, guys. That's pretty much completed. Got the two turtles in. I don't think you'll be able to see much of the dashboard in there. Yeah, there you go, you can see it there. Look, I've just painted the dials silver and a few other little pieces on the dash silver, and yeah, we're ready to go. So all's good. So I'm going to get this out and give it a run, and I'll tell you what I think. Right, you ready? Go. Right guys, we're back. Took this out for a little spin. As you saw in the video, we've got some nice sort of painted road type markings they put for the little kids to cycle around, and it makes a nice little area to take the RC cars. We've also got a little dirt track area up there with some jumps and some sort of hollows where you can fill them with water and that, so it's done pretty well. These tyres have held up good. This has held up really good, all this here, and where it's been run, it only took maybe a minute of running. Everything has freed up really nicely. There's no issues whatsoever with the drive. I've still got really good suspension now. It handles a lot better. It's not as bouncy. Before it used to kind of hit the bumps and would sort of jump like this, whereas now it's kind of rolling with the bumps rather than just kind of jumping. I think the turtles enjoyed their little trip out, so very pleased with what I've done so far. May come up with some more ideas to change things a little bit more, but this rear wheel thing has turned out really good. I'll put a description to these wheels in the description down below, so if you want to get some for yourself, you'll be able to go down and click the link and off you go and get them. But yeah, very happy with it now. Didn't even use one battery. We was up there quite a long time, and motor didn't get too hot, so that's the only thing I was worried about with it, because the axle was a little bit tight when it was first put together, but now it's really running smooth. We've got another model build from scratch coming soon, probably a Tamiya kit, so I may do a little quick video showing the kits that I'm looking at building, and maybe, you know, people can leave a comment down below what you think I should build next. So thank you for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. If you could leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't, as most of my viewers are not subscribing, so it helps the channel immensely. So if you could click on that subscribe button, that'll be awesome. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.